Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into the Advanced Air Purifier Engineering and Strategic Buying Guide for 2026. Look, consider this your ultimate survival guide, because we need to just acknowledge a slightly cynical but completely undeniable truth right up front. The air outside is actively trying to kill us. Between protracted wildfire seasons, microscopic urban smog, and an alphabet soup of airborne pathogens, we are way past the point of just cracking a window for some fresh air. We need some serious, hardcore engineering to fight back.
Let's challenge what you think you know about that humming white box sitting in the corner of your living room right now. Is it actually doing anything, or are you just paying for the privilege of a very expensive, very loud fan? Because honestly, if you're relying on an outdated machine in today's environment, you're pretty much just paying for a false sense of security.
All right, Part 1, the 2026 Air Survival Guide. Let's talk about active atmospheric remediation.
To get us there, we really need to tear down the marketing fluff. We've all seen the flashy boxes promising pure mountain breeze or some kind of ozone magic, while we're replacing that rhetoric today with hard, slightly cynical, but highly effective engineering facts. By the end of this explainer, you're going to look at these machines not like a vulnerable consumer, but absolutely through the eyes of an engineer.
Moving right into Part 2, the holy trinity of specs. These are your core buying vectors.
The very first of these vectors is volumetric efficacy. It's an incredibly simple concept, yet it's constantly ignored by buyers. Volumetric efficacy simply means matching the machine's shear muscle, which is its clean air delivery rate, or CADR, to the actual physical footprint of the room you're trying to detoxify. Putting a machine with a weak KDR in a massive living room is literally like trying to empty a swimming pool with a teaspoon. It just doesn't work.
And while we're at it, forget the old standard of 2 to 3 air changes per hour. That is completely archaic. Given the sheer density of today's pollutants, modern respiratory health guidelines demand a rigorous 4.5 to 5 air changes per hour to actually keep you safe in an occupied space. Every single molecule of air in your room needs to be scrubbed 5 times every 60 minutes, period.
So how do we guarantee that? Well, consider this simple formula your secret weapon. Area multiplied by height, multiplied by 5, and then divided by 60. That math gives you the exact cubic feet per minute, or CFM, required to hit that golden 5 air changes per hour mark. Before you even look at a brand name or fancy design, do this math for your room. It is the absolute baseline of your entire buying strategy.
Part 3, hardcore filtration tech decoded. Let's look under the hood at the hardware of 2026.
Let's start with ultrafine particulates. True HEPA and ULPA filters use these incredibly advanced synthetic polymer weaves. But they don't just act like a simple net. They utilize this fascinating physics principle called Brownian motion. This essentially forces submicron particles, the really dangerous stuff that slips right into your bloodstream, to move erratically and crash into the fibers. It traps ultrafine viral vectors and combustion ash like microscopic flies in a web, capturing up to 99.995% of particles down to a microscopic 0.05 microns.
But here's the catch. HEPA only stops solids. What about the invisible stuff? The gases, the odors, volatile organic compounds like formaldehyde. For that, we don't just use standard activated carbon anymore. Standard carbon is basically a sponge. It can fill up and then actually spit that toxic gas right back out into your room when the temperature changes. Instead, we use chemisorption. Manufacturers use chemically doped carbon matrices to trigger a reaction that irrevocably binds and destroys the gas. It's not a holding cell. Actually, it's more like an execution chamber for VOCs.
Now, what if we want to go beyond just passive capture? That's exactly where active technologies come in. While mechanical filters sit there and catch things, active tech like photocatalytic oxidation, or PCO, actively hunts them down. Step 1, UVC light irradiates titanium dioxide. Step 2, this creates highly reactive hydroxyl radicals that oxidize organic pollutants mid-air. Step 3, it literally vaporizes those pollutants into completely harmless trace amounts of water and carbon dioxide. It is an incredibly aggressive, sci-fi level way to clean an environment.
Okay, Part 4, Global Brand Faction Showdown. Let's examine the regional engineering philosophies out there.
The global purifier market is essentially a video game right now, complete with 3 heavily armed factions, all born out of their unique regional challenges. First up, we have the Americas. Think of this as the brutalist faction. Their environmental boss fight consists of massive western wildfires and exceptionally large suburban homes. So their counterattack is raw, unapologetic volumetric power and absolutely massive filter capacity.
Within this American faction, Austin Air is literally the tank of the group. They forgo any fancy digital displays or smart Wi-Fi features to pack in up to 15 pounds of activated carbon and Z-Light. It's brutalist efficiency designed for heavy chemical mitigation. Alongside them is Honeywell, the quintessential accessible standard, providing this ubiquitous, super reliable 360-degree intake for serious, broad, volumetric turnover. If you just need raw, blunt power, you look right here.
Next up is Europe. Now, if the Americas are the tanks, Europe is the sniper faction. They cater specifically to consumers who demand exceptionally high aerodynamic performance and medical-grade precision, but absolutely refuse to ruin their minimalist interior design to get it.
IQAir is the undisputed leader for immunocompromised environments, giving you an airtight medical seal with zero air bypass. Dyson, on the other hand, uses this algorithmic aeroacoustic magic to project purified air across massive architectural spaces. And then there's Blueair. They utilize HEPA-Silent technology, giving you an incredibly high CADR at a whisper-quiet volume by lightly charging the incoming particles. It's elegant, it's quiet, and it's deadly to pollutants.
Finally, we have the Asian faction. These guys are the tech-heavy wizards. Their battleground is incredibly dense urban pollution combined with complex meteorological conditions. So their engineering response is highly sensitive, multifunctional smart systems that pretty much automate your entire climate.
Coway perfectly balances heavy airflow with hypersensitive smart sensors that predict pollution spikes before you even smell them. Sharp continuously bathes the room in positive and negative ions, neutralizing surface pathogens while simultaneously humidifying the air. And Daikin? Daikin leverages their heavy industry expertise to literally zap viruses trapped in the filter matrix with high-power streamer plasma discharge. Seriously, it's like having a tiny thunderstorm inside the machine cleaning your air.
All right, Part 5, Expert Trap Avoidance Tips. It's time to navigate the final boss of purchasing. You know the tech, you know the factions. Now we have to talk about avoiding industry traps. And the absolute biggest scam on the market today is the HEPA-Type trap. When you're buying, you must ensure the box explicitly says true HEPA or lists the H13 or H14 certification. Do not fall for HEPA-Type or HEPA-like. Legally, those knockoffs only have to capture 99% of particles, and honestly, that missing 0.99% is vastly inferior and frankly a joke when you're dealing with ultra-fine pollutants and viral vector.
Next trap, the CADR to noise ratio. A machine boasting a massive 400 CADR is entirely useless if it sounds like a literal jet engine taking off in your bedroom. Because think about it, what are you going to do? You'll turn it down to quiet it, and then, well, then you aren't getting 400 CADR anymore, are you? Always check what the airflow output is on the medium or sleep settings, because realistically, that is where the machine is actually going to live 90% of the time.
Then there's the financial trap, which gets so many people, the total cost of ownership. People buy a cheap $200 unit and think they just scored an amazing deal. But if that unit requires $150 in filter replacements every single year, it will completely bleed your wallet dry over 5 years compared to a premium $500 model that uses washable pre-filters and cheaper, long-lasting main filters. Look at the 5-year cost, not just the checkout cart price.
Lastly, placement is paramount. You could buy the absolute best machine in the world, but if you shove a beautifully engineered 360-degree intake model into a tight corner behind your sofa, you are going to cause what engineers call a vortex collapse. You essentially suffocate the machine, completely preventing it from pulling in the room's air. Give it at least 18 inches of clearance to breathe. It needs room to work.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. Go look at the purifier you currently own. Knowing what you know now about volumetric efficacy, Brownian motion, and chemosorption, ask yourself, is it genuinely safeguarding your lungs, or is it just generating expensive acoustic pollution? Arm yourself with the right engineering and breathe easy out there. Thanks for hanging out with me.